Good morning. I am TP Meigundan. I am going to deal with the subject design of concrete structures with the subject code U18 PECE 026. In this subject, we have got topic design of water tanks. So in that, we have to talk about the different types of water tanks. Basically, we have got three kinds of things we are going to discuss. Three classifications of tanks, particularly the tanks resting on ground and the tanks which are all under the ground or beneath the ground, and the storage tanks built overhead. These three classifications we are going to discuss. In that, basically, to introduce about the water tanks, the storage tanks are built for storing water, liquid, or petroleum, or any similar petroleum products like any liquid. And the tanks should be designed so as to be free from any crack, and because of these cracks it should not leak. Actually, the water tanks or the storage tanks should be free from crack, since there should be no leakage. If it is underground, then there should be no leakage from the tank, and so also there should be no seepage into the tank. That is the main idea of the tank. And regarding the permeability of concrete is directly proportional to the water cement ratio, we know, because the concrete should be impermeable, impervious, then only it will not have the seepage into the tank or from the tank. The cement content ranging from 330 kg per meter cube to 530 kg per meter cube is recommended in order to keep shrinkage lower level. And as we started the classifications, as I have already mentioned, the tanks resting on ground, we are whatever we are able to see in the picture depicts the tanks resting on the ground. And next, whatever we are seeing, this is an underground tank. We all generally use the underground water tank, or we can say underground sump. In the individual residential building itself, we are going for underground sump. And for the elevated tank, we might have seen practically everywhere. For the public distribution system, we go with the elevated water tanks or storage tanks. And according to the shape also, we can classify the tanks, particularly the water tanks. In that classification, according to the shape, we have circular water tanks. Mainly these tanks, circular, we can use for water storage, and so also in the sewage treatment plant also we can able to see lot of sedimentation tanks. So many processing tanks are circular in shape. And we all very well know the other easily available shape of the tank is a rectangular water tanks. This will be a linearly built, wherein this tanks gives easy geometric shape. And the spherical water tank, and so also further it is an elevated water tank that is depicted in the picture. And the ins type tank, this also we might have come across regularly in our practical use. We might have seen the inch type water tanks, and this is simple conical bottom. We can able to see the shape is conical, and this also regularly we can able to see practically on the field. The first discussion about the circular shape, and so also the tanks resting on the ground. Now we shall pass on to that circular tanks resting on the ground, and in that the tank has tendency to increase in diameter due to the hydrostatic pressure. What it means, if it is circular, we all know the storage inside the tank, that liquid pressure will be tending to pressure on the wall of the circular tank. This hydrostatic pressure will have a tendency to push the wall. Because of that, there can be increase in the dimension or increase in the diameter of the tank. And then this increase in diameter all along the height of the tank depends on the nature of joint at the junction of the slab and wall. We all know the base slab is in connection with the wall, or we can say the wall is in connection with the base slab. If you have the joint between the wall and the slab, that junction, that joint is going to define the increase in diameter or the effect of the hydrostatic pressure on the wall. What are the different types of your joints? When the joints at the base are flexible, if I say flexible, the wall exactly will not be having rigid fixity with the slab or base slab. That is called the flexible joint. When the joints at the base are flexible, the hydrostatic pressure induces maximum increase in the diameter at the base and no increase in the diameter at the top. That is the effect of the joint at the base and the wall of the tank. When the joint at the base is rigid, the base does not move. That is the main idea. If we have the wall is rigidly fixed with the base slab, then there won't be any change in the dimension at the base. Or we can say, because of the rigidity, the base and the wall will not be moving anymore because of the hydrostatic pressure. And coming to design of circular tanks resting on the ground, when it is having a flexible base, as we have already mentioned, the change in the diameter or the change in the dimension of the tank can be at the base when the flexible base or the joint is flexible. For that, we need to go with the design. In that, the main stress is nothing but the tension divided by area of the concrete plus m minus 1 into area of steel. When I talk about the tension or a hydrostatic tensile force, that tension is nothing but the density multiplied by the overall height and the diameter divided by 2, divided by 1000 times the thickness plus m minus 1 ast. Area of concrete, when we say it is b into t, b is generally we take 1000, and the thickness is the area of the concrete there. When the thickness, suppose using this formula, when we are finding out the thickness, when it is less than 225 mm or equal to the 225 mm. Then the reinforcement for the tank can be placed as only one layer, that too that can be placed in at the center of the tank. When the thickness is greater than 225 mm, then we need to go for the reinforcement in the both the faces, in the sense we can have the reinforcement near the water surface, and the other face which is away from the water surface. Along the thickness we need to go with two layers, one at the near the surface and the away from the surface. So whatever area of steel required as hoop reinforcement, that can be divided into two, one at the near face and the other layer at the away from the water surface. The stress in concrete, as we know, this is calculated by using this formula. That is what we were doing now. And after finding out this thickness, based on that thickness, we are going to do with the required diameter of the steel. Here, the sigma c, that is the stress in concrete, is greater than or less than or equal to sigma CAT, where sigma CAT is 0.27 root FCK. Then no crack appears in concrete, where the stress sigma CAT is equal to 0.27 root FCK. Then there won't be any crack. While designing, the thickness of the concrete wall can be estimated by using this thumb rule, that thickness can also be equal to 30 times the overall height plus 50 mm, where H should be in meters. Because it is an empirical formula, we have to use the H always in meters. And the distribution steel in the form of vertical bar are provided such that minimum steel area requirement is satisfied. Basically, the vertical reinforcement, which is meant to maintain the hoop reinforcement in position. So it is not going to be a major reinforcement required, rather it is going to be the minimum steel required for this, and it can be provided based on the codal provision, maybe 0.3% of the gross cross-sectional area. That is what we are going to calculate for the vertical reinforcement, which is actually required to maintain the hoop bars in position. As base slab is resting on the ground and there is no bending stresses are induced, because it is resting on the ground, there won't be any bending stresses induced, and hence the base slab can also be placed with the minimum steel required, right? So you can have a slab wherein the nominal reinforcement is sufficient to take care of the slab alone, because there won't be any bending stresses since the tank is resting over the ground. While designing, the thickness of the concrete wall, yeah, next, the problem we are going to see on the circular tanks resting on the ground with flexible base. We can take this uh, problem or design problem. Design a circular water tank with flexible base for a capacity of 4 lakh liters. The tank rests on a firm level ground. Height of the tank, including the freeboard, is freeboard of 200 mm, should not exceed 3.5 meter. That is the overall height of the tank which includes the freeboard of 200 mm, is 3.5 meter. The tank is open at top. We are not going to have a cover slab for this tank. And the concrete used is a nominal M20 grade, and Fe415 steel is being used for this design. And we have to draw to a suitable scale the plan at the base and the cross section through the center of the tank. Now, to start with this design, our basic design, generally we say, whenever we say design of an element, that element have to be given sufficient section size, and so also the reinforcement required to overcome the moment which is going to be taken by that. And we have to see where is the maximum bending moment occurring. And as we start our design, we have to go with the dimension of the tank. That should be the very first step. So whatever dimensions they have stipulated in the problem, there they have been giving depth of the water, we have to know, because they have given overall height as 3.5 meter, which is including the freeboard. So I have to deduct the freeboard height 0.2. Then whatever height I am getting, that is the height wherein I am going to store the water up to 3.3 meter. Next, for the 4 lakh liter they have given as volume, that I have to convert to the uh, volume in metric level. So for that, 1000 1 m cube can contain 1000 liters. 1 meter cube of volume of tank can contain 1000 liters of any liquid. So 4 lakh liters have been given. So I can divide that by 1000, so that I get the volume of the tank in meter cube. 400 m cube of the tank have to be designed. Area of the tank, since it is circular, if I know the height of water, then I can arrive at the area of the tank. So I am dividing by 3.3. I get 121.2 square meter as my area of the tank. Once if I get the area of this, I can go with the diameter. Pi d square by 4 I can use. In this diameter alone unknown, I can equate to 121.2 square meters, and then I can find out the diameter, which is nothing but approximately equal to 13 meters. Now that, as we have already discussed in the design steps, the thickness of the wall can be arrived by using the empirical formula T is equal to 30 H plus 50, wherein we have to use H in meters. That is the condition for the empirical formula. If we substitute that 3.5 meters in H, we will be getting 149. It can be approximated to 160 mm thick wall. So step 2, we are going to design mainly starting with the vertical wall. And we have been given the condition that the joint is flexible with the base slab. So as we have discussed already, the maximum hoop tension will be at the bottom of the area of the tank, wherein we have to give more steel at the bottom, and towards the top we can reduce the reinforcement or we can curtail the reinforcement, because we all know the pressure distribution is starting from 0 to maximum pressure at the base. So the area of steel minimum is 0.2 for 4% of the area of concrete. Area of concrete, generally gross cross sectional area we have to take. So assuming 1000 as the breadth and thickness we have calculated already, so we can find out 0.24 percentage. So 0.24 divided by 100 into 1000 into 160. So it is 384 square mm. That is the area of steel required. This area of steel required is more than the minimum required. Let the diameter of the bar to be used, we can assume any diameter. Since it is hoop bars, we can start with 16 mm, it can be 18 mm, or it can even be 20 mm dia bars. For the hoop tension, we have to design hoop bars. So we are assuming 16 mm dia bars, and we know pi d square by 4. By that, individual area of 16 mm bar comes to be 201 square mm, and for this 201 square mm bars, we can arrive at the spacing, right? So that spacing is 140.6 mm per mm center to center. We can provide the 16 mm dia bars at 140 mm center to center as hoop tension bars. Next step is to check for the tensile stress. The area of steel provided 201 is the area of 16 mm bar, and for breadth of 1 meter, 1000 divided by 140 is the spacing. So 1436 is the area of the steel provided. Modular ratio, we know M, that is uh, equal to, we can find out the stress in concrete or permissible stress. 0.27 square root of FCK is equal to 1.2 Newton per mm square. So for this, actual stress is equal to the permissible stress. Now we can talk about the curtailment of hoop steel. As we were discussing, towards the top, the pressure is going to be very, very less, and at the top, it is going to be zero also. So the quantity of steel required at 1 meter, 2 meter from the top can be found out, or it can be even tabulated just to know at 1 meter level what is the uh, reinforcement required, and 2 meter level what is the reinforcement required. So that can be tabulated. The height from the top we can take, as we know, as we were discussing, at the top the hoop tension is zero, right? So whereas it is at 1.3 meter, it is 84.5. Using this gamma hd by 2, we have to go on change the depth from the top, and when we go on change the depth from the top, we can find out different tension. The overall height can also be continuously going to be changed, and the hook tension can be found out. Starting from zero, it is 149.5 at the level of 2.3. If you go further at 3.5, we have already found out. So it would be maximum at 3.5 or 3 point. That is the bottommost point. So for that, we are providing the hoop reinforcement, and we are going to curtail towards the top. Curtailing in the sense, we can increase the spacing of the hoop tension bars. And coming to the vertical reinforcement, which we were already mentioning, the vertical reinforcement can be provided to maintain the spacing of this hoop tension bars. So it is minimal, even 0.24% is exact value from the codal provision. Nominally, we can take 0.3% also. It is not going to matter much, because it is going to be 0.06%. And the minimal reinforcement, we can go with the 10 mm dia bars, and the area of 10 mm dia bar, we know 78.54, and we can find out the spacing. It is around approximately equal to 200 mm. 204 mm is coming on calculation. We can provide 200 mm as the spacing for the vertical reinforcement. And coming to the next part to be designed, we have completed with the design of the circular wall, because in the circular shape, which is going to be most interesting and economical geometrical shape, because wherever you have, everywhere the pressure is going to be unique because it is circular. The diameter remains same in whatever may be the direction you change. Whereas if it is some other shape, can be square or rectangular, wherein you have diagonal, the when you take the diagonal pressure, it is going to be more weak along the diagonal. So you have to go with different calculations for the short wall and the long wall, and the bending moment also going to be changing. Whereas in the circular shape, it is most economical because the hoop tension is going to be maximum at the bottom, and it is going to be zero at the top, and it is easy for dimensioning. And after completing the wall, we have to go with the tank floor, which has to be designed. As we have already discussed, we were saying that the minimal reinforcement can be easy enough for the slab, because the slab is resting on the ground. As we were mentioning, because it is resting over the firm ground, the steel provided can be 0.3%, and thickness of the slab can also be assumed as 150 mm. Now, for this 0.3% area of steel, we can go with 8 mm diabars at 200 mm center to center in both the directions, on the bottom course and so also on the top of the slab. With that, we complete the design of circular water tank with flexible base resting on the ground, firm ground. So after completing, we can have the detailing by giving the sectional elevation and so also the plan. Now, whatever we are seeing is the sectional elevation given for the section which we have designed now, and the reinforcements have been marked, whatever vertical reinforcement we have given, and the thickness of the wall is less than 225 mm. So the reinforcement can be placed at the center of the thickness of the wall, and if it is exceeding 225 mm, then only we have to go with two layers, which is near the surface of the water and away from the water surface. We have to give two layers of hoop bars. Here only one layer is enough, and we can able to see clearly at the bottom, the 16 mm main bars or the hoop bars are placed at 140 mm center to center, whereas it is going on increasing, and at one level it is 200 mm center to center, and it is further 300 mm center to center. At the top it is 400 mm center to center. That means we are curtailing the area of the steel by reducing or by increasing the spacing, right? By that we are increasing the number of bars. And the vertical bars, simply it is 10 mm, and at 200 mm center to center, it is going to hold good the positioning of the hoop bars. And the bottom slab, we have seen 8 mm bars placed at 200 mm center to center both ways, and so also we have got two layers, one at the bottom of the slab and the other one at the top of the slab. And we have designed, or we have assumed, the minimum thickness for the slab 150 mm. So all the details have been shown in the picture. Next, this is the plan showing the tank, circular tank. what is the diameter, whatever we have arrived, 13 meters we arrived. So that has been given. And the thickness of the wall is 160. And so also our hoop bar, it is the circular bar which has been shown here. So the plan gives the detail of your reinforcement also, along with the vertical reinforcement or the distributory reinforcement. With that, our circular tank with flexible base is completed. Next case, when the same circular shape of the tank is resting on the ground, but the joint is rigid. When the joint is rigid or due to the fixity of the base slab, the bottom will not move, right? So for shallow tanks with large diameter, hoop stresses are very small and the wall act more as a cantilever because there is no movement in the bottom. It is having fixed end at the base. The tank will behave as a cantilever slab has to be designed for the wall. So for if it is deeper tank, if it is more deep, then which has got less diameter, the cantilever action due to fixity at the base is small and the hoop action is going to be predominant. We should note the difference when the tank is shallow and which is having major diameter, then the hoop stresses are comparatively less when it is compared to the other action, that is the cantilever action. So we have to go with the cantilever type of design. Whereas if the tanks are very deep and diameter is very less, the cantilever action is going to be small compared to the hoop tension. So the analysis of the tank and the proportion of wall in which whether hoop tension is predominant or the cantilever action is predominant, that has to be analyzed. And we can do analyze the tank with the fixed base by using Raysoner's method or Carpenter's simplified method and approximate method, IS code method. Generally, we will be following IS code method, wherein for the water tank designs or any liquid storage tanks, we will be using the IS 3370 from part 1 to part 6. We can use the hoop tension, moment and shear from this codal provision from IS 3370. The hoop tension can be calculated using the coefficient multiplied by gamma, it is the density of water, and overall height multiplied by diameter divided by 2. And the moment, it can be calculated by using this formula, coefficient multiplied by gamma into h cube, whereas the shear can be calculated using V is equal to coefficient into gamma h square. H is the overall height. The thickness of the wall required can be calculated by using the very simple formula. We know moment is equal to QBD square. Using that, the D can be arrived M divided by QB, overall square root, wherein the Q is half sigma CBC J into K, where K is equal to M into sigma CBC divided by M into sigma CBC plus sigma ST, where M is, we know very well, for the different grade of concrete, we can arrive at the modular ratio M. And using this IS code method, the overall thickness can be calculated by using the calculated depth plus effective cover. And area of the reinforcement in the form of vertical bars on water face is computed as area of steel is equal to m divided by sigma st jd. The area of hoop steel in the form of ring is computed using area of steel 1 is equal to T. T is the hoop tension divided by sigma st. The distribution steel and the vertical steel face of the wall, it depends on the face of the wall, is computed from maximum steel consideration. Tensile stress computed from the following equation should be less than the permissible stress for safe design. Sigma C, this formula we have already seen, is equal to the hoop tension divided by 1000 T plus m minus 1 AST. The base slab thickness generally varies from 150 mm to 250 mm because it is going to be resting on the ground. The design of water tanks. The water tanks have to be designed as crack-free structures without any leakage. The code of practice for the storage liquids mostly will be using IS 3370 part 1 to part 4, and the allowable stresses in the reinforcing steel as per IS 3370 we can take it is sigma st is equal to 115 MPa for mild steel or the steel grade 1, that is Fe 250, and sigma st is 150 MPa for HYSD bars. When the bars are high yield strength deformed bars, then it is 150 MPa. So in order to minimize the cracking due to shrinkage, the thickness for the thickness less than 100 mm, it is 0.3%. For thickness, it is when it is greater than or equal to 450 mm, it is 0.2%. When the thickness is between 100 mm and 450 mm, it can be varied linearly from 0.3% to 0.2%. When the concrete thickness is greater than or equal to 225 mm, two layers of reinforcement to be placed as we have already discussed, one near the water face and the other away from the water face. The design of rectangular tank also can be dealt, that can be seen in the forthcoming lectures. Thank you.